If I had to make my first 100K in 2026, this is exactly what I would do. First of all, I would stop playing the wrong game, cutting the dead weight, okay? So oftentimes as musicians, we think I need to be all things to all people, right? I need to be releasing every week or every month or whatever. I actually had a promotional marketing team one time say, as soon as you release your song, it's old because there's so many songs getting released. And I was like, that's so depressing. That's not helpful at all. And so then you get on this hamster wheel and you feel like, okay, I gotta be releasing all the time. I have to be on every single social media platform all the time. And you run yourself ragged. So what I would do is I would cut the dead weight. I would stop with the random, unintentional releases. I would stop spending time on things that don't matter. Sometimes we as musicians get stuck down a rabbit hole because we have perfectionistic ideas of what the perfect sound is and what exactly this should sound like and look like. And so then we hone in and we fixate in on one thing that really doesn't matter all that much. Stop spending on tons of random gear instead of focusing on income. I'm not saying that you don't need gear, but you don't need to continue to buy the latest this and the latest that just because you think that's gonna make you better. No, you need to focus in and cut the dead weight. Next, I would pick a skill that people already pay for. I could change my mindset and think, okay, I'm not gonna start with music, I'm gonna start with a skill. Do you know how to mix? Do you know how to master? Do you know how to create beats in a specific niche? Are you good at vocal production? Are you good at top lining? Are you good at lyric writing? Are you good at sync-ready instrumentals? You don't have to invent demand. Find where the money is already moving. And then all of a sudden, you're not just shooting in the dark thinking, I hope somebody finds me. No, you're picking a skill that people already pay for. And then I would remember that volume beats perfection. And every time I say this, people come at me and they're like, yeah, well, if your music sucks, that doesn't help. Like, duh, yeah, I know that. I'm not saying that you should just put garbage out in the world. What I'm saying is that done is better than perfect. And if you're here, you're probably a good musician and you're probably somebody who puts great things out into the world. So I'm operating under the assumption that you're awesome because you probably are. As musicians, we can hyperfixate on something that is just not quite right when really it's good. And sometimes we just have to call it done. All right, here's a story. So my daughter is getting into songwriting. She's using GarageBand and it is so fun to watch her. She's making all these beats. They're adorable. I love it. And she was like, but Mom, I just don't think that it's good enough. I think that, I probably need to redo all these vocals. She's 11 and she's already saying that. So imagine, what's going on in all the rest of our minds who have been at this for decades. And so I told her, I was like, we get to a point where we just have to call it done. Right? We've done everything that we can and we just gotta call it done. Because your first 100,000 comes from reps. You gotta put in the reps. 100 songs is better than 10 perfect songs that you hyperfixated on the vocals for a bajillion years, right? No, get them done. Yes, they're gonna be good, okay? Now, and 100 clients is better than one big break. Everybody wants to go viral, okay? Everybody's like, I'm gonna go viral, I'm gonna be famous. But here's the thing, if you think about it, the percentage of people who go viral and then make it big is actually really small. But we don't think that because that's all we see. All we see is the big people who went viral and now they're famous and rich and whatever. But we don't see the other 99.9% that went viral once and then disappeared. It's really interesting because I have several friends who are pretty big influencers on their social media platform, mostly Instagram. Every time one of their posts goes viral, they get a whole bunch of new followers and then lose them all. Why? Because they really didn't care about that person's platform and what they stood for. They actually just liked that video. One big break, it's probably not gonna do it for you. But 100 clients, that is repetition, iteration, that is skill growth. That's what you want. Next thing I would do is time allocation. Most artists don't have a talent problem, they have a time problem. Why do we have a time problem? And I can say this because this is me. I'm not knocking you, I'm knocking myself, and tell me in the comments if you're like, yep, that's me too. We get so stuck on the things that don't matter. Or I don't know, I'll just be like, I need to organize all of my information right now. Why? Is that making money? Is that making you dollars? No, it is not. So for example, what if it was 50% promotion, 30% creation, and 20% learning? Because if no one sees your music, you're not gonna get paid for it, right? There are billions of people in the world who have never heard your music. And so if we don't spend enough time promoting, that's a problem. And one of the things that we love here at Produce Like a Boss is we love helping people with just that. And we love helping you allocate your time and think like a boss producer CEO who is in charge of an amazing company who has incredible intellectual property and so much potential. And so what we do is we come alongside of you with community, with coaching, and with courses so that you can build this $100,000 that you're dreaming of. And so if you're curious about that, we actually built a quiz for you, and it's gonna help you know exactly what your first step or your next step should be as a producer, or if you're an artist and you're like, I'm not a producer yet, what do? I wanna produce my own songs. This quiz is gonna help you with that. It takes 60 seconds, it's totally free, and we're gonna send your next steps to your inbox. So check that out in the description below. If I was gonna start over before I ever tried to be an artist, I'd make money with music first. Why? Well, now all of a sudden I have cash flow. It's kind of this same idea as rental properties, all right? We've got rental properties, and what are the rental properties doing? They are generating cash flow every month because we have rental income every month, right? And when you do it right, all of a sudden, you've got a monthly chunk of income every month that you don't have to work for, right? That's cash flow. So selling beats or freelance production or writing for others, there's a ton of ways that you could do this. And so I wanna show you just a couple of things here on my screen. First of all, you could head to Sound Better. We like Sound Better at Produce Like a Boss. This is where if you were looking for somebody, you could find somebody, or you can join as a contributor, right? And so you can sign up as a producer, as a singer, as a mix engineer, songwriters, mastering, session musicians, etc. You can sign up and be partnered with people who are looking for that. People are coming. This is kind of like Fiverr or Upwork for musicians. It really is a trusted platform. And so I would highly recommend checking this out. The other one would be BeatStars, and this is another one you could look at. This is a place where you could start selling your beats, right? And so these are ways that you can create cash flow first, because cash flow is gonna buy you time. So a lot of times people may say, I don't wanna do that long term. I understand that. But if you're wanting to build $100,000 in 2026, which is fast because it's March, so we gotta get to it, we need to start thinking outside of the box. So if this is you and this is your goal, create some cash flow first. That's gonna give you breathing room, and then you're gonna feel so much more joy because you have money in the bank and you're not like, this song has to go viral and big because I have to make money. And we all know how much money streaming gets us, right? So the next thing I would do is I would stack distribution, not just music, okay? Music is the product, content is the distribution. So don't just put it on Spotify, okay? Repurpose it to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, get an email list, okay? Please start an email list, start capturing those emails so you can stay in touch with people. Most artists, they're just doing the low return activities, right? And they're thinking, oh, I gotta do what everyone else is doing. Don't do what everyone else is doing. That's my motto. It's worked out pretty well. The next thing is I would avoid low ROI paths. I've done playlist pitching, and actually I found a really awesome company that was ethical and was legitimate, and that did help me. But for the most part, it didn't generate like a ton of income, but it did stack, some cool streams. But it's tricky because some of those companies that are out there are fake streams. So I would avoid chasing streams and playlists. I would definitely not sit around and wait to get discovered, because that goes really well. And I wouldn't just upload to Spotify, right? My songs are on Spotify. You can search Andrea Olson. I'm a worship music artist. You can find me there. I'm there, but that's not the only place. Next, I would build a simple money system. $100,000, it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. It's just math, okay? So if you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but it's not complicated. If you've got a $1,000 offer, you need 100 of them. It's a $500 offer, you need 200 of them. Just do the math and break it down, and then all of a sudden you've got a bite-sized step to get going with. Those are the things that I would do in 2026 if I was gonna start over and I was gonna go from 0 to 100,000. I think that the first 100,000 is hard because you're guessing. And that's what Produce Like a Boss is all about. We're here to help you stop guessing. This is not shooting in the dark. This is proven with thousands of people, thousands of students in our community from all over the world who now are monetizing, making money from their music, and now they've built a life in music that they love, all because they took these steps. And after that, you're just building on an awesome foundation, and that's how scaling works. We build systems. We build systems to follow, and I promise you, once that foundation is laid, you're gonna feel all the freedom in the world to create whatever you want, and then you've got reoccurring revenue, so you can release the 100 songs a year if you want to, just for fun, because you can do it all yourself, because you built the skill with us at P-Lab. And so if you're serious about making money from your music, if you're sitting here and you're like, this is what I want, then take the quiz below. Just click the link and we will send you to the quiz. You can start it right away and we will give you your next step to take today, not tomorrow, not in a month, but today. No matter where you're at on your production journey, whether you're an artist who's never touched a DAW or you're a proficient producer and you're curious about how to make money from it, this quiz is gonna help you. We'll send your personalized results direct to your email and then you can get started right away. And I personally cannot wait to see you on the inside. That's all I got for you today. We'll see you in the next one.